Seniors, never eat these 3 foods with your meal. It worsens reflux. Have you been suffering from that burning sensation in your chest after meals? What if I told you that 3 common foods you might be eating with your dinner right now could be making your reflux worse? In this video, I'm going to reveal these 3 troublemakers that many seniors unknowingly combine with their meals, triggering painful acid reflux episodes. By the end of our time together, you'll know exactly which foods to separate from your main meals, simple timing adjustments that can bring relief, and practical strategies that have helped thousands of my patients find comfort without giving up their favorite foods entirely. This isn't about eliminating these foods forever, it's about smarter timing and combinations that can make all the difference. Stay with me to the end for a special technique that most reflux sufferers never discover, one that can help you enjoy meals without that dreaded burning sensation again. I'll create an engaging, conversational YouTube script about reflux for seniors, focused on foods to avoid with meals. First, I'll provide an introduction that builds curiosity, followed by a fluid main text with natural questions and a strong call to action at the end. Introduction: have you been suffering from that burning sensation in your chest after meals? What if I told you that 3 common foods you might be eating with your dinner right now could be making your reflux worse? In this video, I'm going to reveal these 3 troublemakers that many seniors unknowingly combine with their meals, triggering painful acid reflux episodes. By the end of our time together, you'll know exactly which foods to separate from your main meals, simple timing adjustments that can bring relief, and practical strategies that have helped thousands of my patients find comfort without giving up their favorite foods entirely. This isn't about eliminating these foods forever, it's about smarter timing and combinations that can make all the difference. Stay with me to the end for a special technique that most reflux sufferers never discover, one that could help you enjoy meals without that dreaded burning sensation again. Main content: let's talk about something that affects so many of us. As we get older, that uncomfortable burning sensation that creeps up after we eat. You know what I'm talking about, right? That feeling when your chest feels like it's on fire, when you can taste that sour liquid at the back of your throat, when you find yourself reaching for antacids yet again. Acid reflux, it's not just uncomfortable, it can truly affect your quality of life. How many times have you turned down dinner invitations because you were worried about triggering that painful burning? Or maybe you've woken up in the middle of the night, propping yourself up on pillows, desperately trying to get some relief. I hear these stories from my patients every single day, and I want you to know that you're not alone in this struggle. The interesting thing about reflux is that it's not always about what you eat, but sometimes about how you combine your foods. Did you know that certain food combinations can dramatically increase acid production in your stomach? It's fascinating how our digestive system works, isn't it? Have you ever wondered why some days your reflux seems so much worse than others, even when you feel like you're eating the same things? The answer might surprise you. It could be because of these 3 foods that you're eating alongside your meals, without realizing the damage they're doing. Before I reveal these 3 troublemakers, let me ask you, have you noticed that your reflux symptoms tend to get worse in the evening? There's actually a scientific reason for this, and it has to do with our natural digestive rhythms. Our digestive fire, as some traditional medicine systems call it, naturally diminishes as the day goes on. Interesting, right? Our bodies are designed to process food more efficiently earlier in the day. Now, let's talk about the first food that you should never combine with your main meals. If you suffer from reflux, citrus fruits, I know, they're delicious and packed with vitamin C, but having that orange or grapefruit with your dinner is one of the worst combinations. For reflux sufferers, when was the last time you enjoyed a nice orange after dinner? Or maybe you like to add a squeeze of lemon to your fish. While these might seem like healthy choices, and they are, in many ways the timing is everything when it comes to reflux. Citrus fruits are highly acidic, with a pH level that can be as low as 2, which is very acidic indeed. When you combine this acidity with a full meal, especially one containing proteins that require a lot of stomach acid to digest, you're creating the perfect storm for acid reflux. Have you noticed that sometimes your reflux symptoms appear hours after eating? This delayed reaction often happens because the combination of foods you've eaten takes longer to digest, allowing acid to build up and eventually flow back up into your esophagus. What's the solution? Should you avoid citrus altogether? Absolutely not. Citrus fruits are too valuable nutritionally to eliminate completely. Instead, try enjoying your citrus fruits at least 2 hours before a main meal or as a mid-morning snack. This timing allows your stomach to process the acidic food before it needs to tackle a larger meal. Has your doctor ever talked to you about the timing of your foods? Or just told you to eliminate certain things? In my experience, many healthcare providers jump straight to elimination diets or medications without exploring these simpler strategies first. Now, let's move on to the second food that commonly triggers reflux. When combined with meals, tomatoes. Are you surprised? Many people don't realize that tomatoes, despite being vegetables technically fruits, are quite acidic. Do you enjoy pasta with tomato sauce for dinner? Or perhaps a sandwich with slices of fresh tomato for lunch? These combinations might be contributing to your reflux problems. Tomatoes contain malic and citric acids, which can increase the overall acidity in your stomach when combined with other foods. They also contain compounds that can relax the lower esophageal sphincter. That's the valve that's supposed to keep stomach acid from flowing back up into your esophagus. When this sphincter relaxes at the wrong time, that's when you feel that burning sensation. What's particularly tricky about tomatoes is that they're often disguised in many prepared foods. Ketchup, marinara sauce, pizza sauce, these all contain concentrated tomato, which means they're even more acidic than fresh tomatoes. Have you ever noticed feeling worse after eating Italian food? Now, you know one potential reason why, but don't worry, I'm not suggesting you give up your favorite Italian dishes forever. There are clever ways to still enjoy these foods while minimizing their impact on your reflux. One approach is to take a small amount of sodium, bicarbonate, baking soda, in water about 30 minutes before eating tomato-based foods. This can help neutralize some of the excess acid, but remember, this is a temporary solution, not something you should rely on daily. Have you ever tried this approach? If you haven't, it might be worth discussing with your healthcare provider. Another strategy is to combine tomatoes with foods that help buffer their acidity. For example, having your tomato sauce with a side of steamed vegetables can help balance the overall acidity of the meal. Isn't it interesting how food combinations can make such a difference? The third food that should never be combined with your meals if you suffer from reflux might surprise you: coffee. Yes, that morning cup of joy that so many of us rely on to start our day. Are you someone who enjoys coffee with your breakfast, or perhaps after dinner? This combination could be particularly problematic for reflux sufferers. Coffee, both regular and decaffeinated, stimulates acid production in the stomach. When combined with food, especially a large meal, this excess acid can easily flow back up into the esophagus. What many people don't realize is that coffee has a double effect. It not only increases acid production, but also relaxes the lower esophageal sphincter, that important valve I mentioned earlier. It's like opening the floodgates while simultaneously increasing the flood. Has your doctor mentioned the timing of your coffee consumption in relation to your meals? This simple adjustment can make a significant difference for many reflux sufferers. Instead of having coffee with your meal, try enjoying it at least an hour before eating or 2 hours after. This timing allows your stomach to deal with the coffee's effects separately from the process of digesting your meal. Some of my patients have found that switching to a lower acid coffee has helped them continue to enjoy their daily brew without triggering reflux. Did you know that there are specially processed low-acid coffees available now? These are worth exploring if you're not ready to give up your coffee habit entirely. Now, you might be wondering if I shouldn't combine these three foods with my meals. When can I enjoy them? That's a great question, and it leads me to an important principle in managing reflux. Timing is everything. Your digestive system follows certain rhythms throughout the day. Have you noticed that your body seems to handle the same foods differently depending on when you eat them? This isn't your imagination, it's based on how our digestive systems naturally function. Generally speaking, our digestive capacity is strongest between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. This is when our bodies produce the most digestive enzymes and when our metabolism is most active. Have you ever considered eating your largest meal during this window? Many reflux sufferers find significant relief from this simple adjustment. Let's talk about another crucial aspect of managing reflux that goes beyond food combinations: posture after eating. How do you typically spend the hour after meals? Do you lie down to rest, or perhaps recline in your favorite chair to watch TV? This common habit could be making your reflux much worse. When you lie down or recline significantly after eating, you're essentially helping gravity push stomach acid up into your esophagus. Isn't it amazing how such a simple thing as staying upright can make such a difference? Try to remain sitting upright or even take a gentle walk for at least 30 minutes after eating. Have you ever tried this approach? Many of my patients report that this simple habit change has dramatically reduced their nighttime reflux symptoms. Speaking of nighttime symptoms, let's address another common question. How long before bedtime should you stop eating? This is crucial for reflux sufferers, as nighttime reflux can severely impact sleep quality. The general recommendation is to wait at least 3 hours between your last meal and bedtime. This gives your stomach enough time to empty substantially before you lie down. Does this time frame work with your current schedule? If not, could you adjust either your dinner time or your bedtime to create this important buffer? Another factor that many people overlook is the temperature of their food. Have you noticed that very hot foods seem to trigger your reflux more than food served at room temperature? There's a physiological reason for this. Hot foods and beverages can temporarily increase blood flow to the stomach lining, which can stimulate acid production. Additionally, the steam from hot foods can carry stomach acid up into the esophagus. Interesting connection, isn't it? Try allowing your hot foods and beverages to cool slightly before consuming them. This simple step might help reduce your reflux symptoms, particularly if you notice that hot coffee or soup tends to trigger discomfort. Now, I want to address something that many of my patients struggle with: the feeling that managing reflux means giving up all pleasure in eating. Do you sometimes feel this way? Like the joy has been taken out of meals because of all the restrictions? I want to assure you that managing reflux doesn't have to mean a bland, joyless diet. It's about making strategic choices and understanding how your unique digestive system responds to different foods and combinations. Have you created a food journal yet to track how different foods affect your symptoms? This could be an incredibly valuable tool for identifying your personal triggers and safe foods. Everyone's body responds differently, and what triggers reflux in one person might be perfectly fine for another. Let's talk about some foods that are generally well tolerated by reflux sufferers. Wouldn't it be nice to focus on what you can enjoy rather than just what to avoid? Foods like bananas, melons, oatmeal, lean proteins, and non-citrus fruits are typically gentle on the digestive system. Root vegetables like sweet potatoes and carrots are usually well tolerated too. Have you been incorporating these reflux-friendly foods into your meals? Another helpful strategy is to eat smaller, more frequent meals rather than 3 large ones. Have you tried this approach? Many reflux sufferers find that it reduces pressure on the stomach and decreases the likelihood of acid flowing back up into the esophagus. I'd like to share a technique that has helped many of my patients manage their reflux symptoms: mindful eating. When was the last time you really focused on your meal, chewing slowly and savoring each bite? In our busy world, we often eat quickly while doing other things, watching TV, working, or scrolling through our phones. This distracted eating typically leads to swallowing air, eating too quickly, and not chewing food adequately, all factors that can worsen reflux. Try setting aside 20 minutes for each meal, sitting at a table without distractions and chewing each bite thoroughly. Have you noticed how rushing through meals seems to make your reflux worse? This is no coincidence. Let's address another common question I hear from my patients. What about medications for reflux? Are you currently taking over-the-counter antacids or prescription medications to manage your symptoms? While medications certainly have their place in managing reflux, especially in severe cases, they're most effective when combined with the dietary and lifestyle strategies we've been discussing. Have you found that medications alone aren't giving you complete relief? One concern with long-term use of certain reflux medications, particularly proton pump inhibitors (PPIs), is that they can affect nutrient absorption. For instance, they may reduce the absorption of calcium, iron, and vitamin B12 nutrients that are particularly important as we age. Has your doctor discussed this with you? If you're currently taking reflux medications, it's important to continue them as prescribed while working with your healthcare provider on implementing these dietary strategies. Over time, many people find they can reduce their reliance on medications as they identify and address their specific triggers. Now, let's talk about a technique that's helped many of my patients but isn't widely known: the GAP method for eating trigger foods. Have you ever heard of this approach? The GAP method involves creating a gap or buffer between trigger foods and your main meals. For instance, if you really enjoy coffee, instead of having it with breakfast, you might have it as a mid-morning beverage, at least an hour after eating and an hour before your next meal. Similarly, if you love tomatoes, you might enjoy them as an afternoon snack rather than with your dinner. This creates a dedicated window for your stomach to process these more challenging foods. Separately from your main meals, have you tried this approach with any of your trigger foods? Many people find that they can still enjoy their favorite foods this way without triggering severe reflux symptoms. Another important aspect of managing reflux is stress reduction. Have you noticed that your reflux symptoms seem to flare up during particularly stressful periods in your life? This isn't just coincidence. Stress activates our fight or flight response, which can slow digestion and increase stomach acid production, a perfect recipe for reflux. Additionally, when we're stressed, we tend to make less optimal food choices and eat more quickly. What stress management techniques have you found helpful? Whether it's gentle yoga, meditation, deep breathing exercises, or simply taking time for activities you enjoy, finding effective ways to manage stress can significantly improve your reflux symptoms. I'd like to share a breathing technique that's particularly helpful for reflux sufferers. It's called diaphragmatic breathing or belly breathing. Have you tried this before? To practice diaphragmatic breathing, place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. Breathe in slowly through your nose, feeling your belly expand, while your chest remains relatively still. Then exhale slowly through pursed lips, feeling your belly contract. This type of breathing engages the diaphragm properly, which helps strengthen the muscles that separate the stomach from the esophagus. Practicing this for just 5 minutes a day can help reduce reflux symptoms over time. Isn't it amazing how something as simple as changing how we breathe can affect our digestive health? Now, I want to address a question that many of you probably have. What about social situations and eating out? Do you sometimes avoid social gatherings because you're worried about triggering your reflux? Eating out with reflux can be challenging, but with a few strategies, it doesn't have to mean missing out on social connections. Have you tried reviewing the menu online before going to a restaurant to identify reflux-friendly options? When dining out, don't hesitate to ask for modifications to make dishes more reflux-friendly. For instance, you might request sauce on the side, ask for a dish to be prepared with less oil, or choose grilled options instead of fried ones. Most restaurants are happy to accommodate these simple requests. Another helpful strategy is to eat a small, reflux-friendly snack before heading out to a social event. This takes the edge off your hunger so you're less likely to overeat or make choices based solely on hunger. Have you tried this approach? I want to emphasize that managing reflux is a journey, not a destination. It's about progress, not perfection. Have you been too hard on yourself when you experience setbacks in managing your symptoms? It's normal to have good days and challenging days. The goal is to identify patterns and make adjustments that improve your overall quality of life, not to achieve perfect symptom control every single day. How would it feel to approach your reflux management with this mindset? I'd like to share something that many of my patients find surprising. Hydration plays a crucial role in managing reflux symptoms. Are you drinking enough water throughout the day? Try this approach at your next meal. Start with some steamed vegetables or a small green salad with olive oil, avoiding vinegar or citrus, then move on to your protein. And finally, if you're having them, consume starches last. Many of my patients report significant improvement in their post-meal symptoms with this simple adjustment. Thank you for staying with me all the way to the end of this video. If you found this information helpful, please hit that like button. It really helps more people discover this content who might be suffering from reflux just like you. I'd love to hear about your experiences with reflux in the comments below. Specifically, which of these 3 foods, citrus, tomatoes, or coffee, has been the biggest trigger for your symptoms?